All right, guys, here we go. The famous, now infamous, actually, story of Austin, Texas. My wife and I went out to Austin just for the weekend to see a country show. Wound up going to the show and having a good time. It was Tracy Lawrence. It was still fun. You know, people had a good time. Saw the Bellamy Brothers, which is a Florida act. Still live here in Florida. Grammy nominated. Great musicians. Wonderful harmony. Still a good time. So go to Austin. The food's great. Tons of great bars. It's as weird as they say it is. Trust me when I tell you, it is weird. All right, here's the story. Wife and I like to go into towns and book open mic nights. We like to go see comedy. Kind of tells the story of a city a little bit, and same here with Orlando, by the way. So we booked a night at the Creek and the Cave, which is a comedy store right there off, I think, 7th Avenue and 7th and 6th Street downtown are like the party areas of Austin, Texas. Tons of bars and all kinds of seediness down there for sure, but still fun. That's where the life of the city is in the evenings there on 6th and stuff. So we go down and to see this show, and when we get there and get sat down, we're side stage, so we're looking at the performers the right side of their face. We don't have any problem with that. You know, we don't have any problem being in the front row. We enjoy comedy. And we were assured at the beginning of the show that there was going to be a halftime show type between the comics that we weren't going to believe. It was genuinely going to be a game changer. We were excited. We were also told that we had booked a ticket on a night called Pervert Night. And basically all the comics were going to come up and do their dirtiest jokes, you know, their most shocking, dirty jokes. And we're like, okay, who gives a shit? I don't really care if it's perv night. You know, let's have it, you know. We've seen some pretty crazy stuff in our lives. I mean, you're not going to really shock us a whole bunch. So we thought, first comics go, have a great time, pretty funny. The person comes out and says, the host comes out and says, hey, it's time for the halftime show. Prepare yourselves accordingly. You're about to see something you aren't going to be able to explain. By the way, I hope there's no narcs in here or no cops. And I was like, oh shit, all right, let's see it. What's up? You know, I'm down for this. I like cool stuff. So as we're sitting side stage, we notice backstage there are some people dressed up in costumes, and they're about to come up on stage, but not before the host comes out and pulls what looks to be a weight bench covered in a blanket, and then there's a tarp below the weight bench. You know, tarp's usually bad sign. And it was, because here's what happened. So the woman comes out. She's dressed like Gandalf, full-blown Gandalf beard, little 9 yards, and the wig comes around and it's covering her breasts, right? And then down below, she has what looks to be like a string bikini bottom with a long Gandalf beard, like a merkin thing, like kind of a pubic wig, but it's like long, like down to her knees, right? It was kind of funny. And she had some like very Gandalfian kind of people beside her dressed in the garb that fits that kind of scene, right? And we didn't think anything of it. And then the Gandalf lady and her minions are having some conversation. It's innocuous. Nobody's really paying attention to it. And she's saying something about what Earth needs is more peace and more harmony, and she knows how to do it. She's going to provide this as a service to everybody, and you know, brings out this bottomless water pipe. All right, so you got a bottomless water pipe. Obviously, there is a substance in there that looks a lot like marijuana in the bowl, and they're going to smoke weed on stage. I was like, big deal. Smoking weed on stage, get the comics back up. Who cares about this, right? I don't want to see people dress up like Gandalf smoking weed in a bar because they think they're revolutionaries. But it didn't happen like that at all. This is when the Gandalf woman lies down on the bench with her butt facing the audience, right? As if she was going to receive a gynecological exam. Then one of the other minions walks up with a bucket. It looks to be like a see-through bucket, like a kind of Tupperware type thing. And Gandalf pulls out a feminine product from herself and puts it in the bucket. This is live, by the way. This is happening in front of people. And at that time, one of the minions gives something to Gandalf in her hand, which she rubs onto herself. That happened to be a lubricant, because the other person with the open-ended water pipe puts that water pipe where a gynecological exam would normally go, inserts it. The other subject pours water into the pipe, which is inserted into Gandalf. And then the other two minions come up and they actually smoke marijuana out of this human bong. The water is in her and it's bubbling as they smoke. They're saying stuff, but nobody can talk because everybody is aghast. This is a comedy show. This is supposed to be funny. Then the bucket gets put back, pull the pipe out. The water that was just used to smoke now goes into the bucket with the feminine device still in the bucket. This is just being heralded around the room. They then get up, they bow, and they leave the stage. That's a true story. That happened in front of people in Austin, Texas, at the Creek in the Cave. So book your tickets now, because it doesn't get any weirder than that.